Have you ever felt afraid even when you didn't know why? Have you ever thought that God might be angry with you when you make a mistake? Today, I want to tell you the story of a very special saint. A saint who also felt afraid, but who discovered something wonderful. That God is not a punisher. That God does not want to scare us. That God is a loving Father. And that love is stronger than fear. Stay with us until the end because this story can help you at home, at school, and with your friends. Before we begin, subscribe to Superhero Histories of Faith, give this video a like, and look for our books on Amazon to keep learning together as a family. Saint Francis de Sales was born in the year 1567 in Thorens, France, surrounded by mountains and nature. He was born into an important family. His father wanted him to become powerful and famous. His mother taught him something much more important, to trust God with tenderness. Francis was a child who was very intelligent, very sensitive, with a heart that felt things deeply. From a young age, he loved God, but he also wanted to do everything perfectly, and that sometimes made him worry too much. When Francis grew up, he went to study in Paris, a very large city. There, he heard ideas that filled him with fear. People told him, God has already decided who will be saved and who will be condemned. Francis began to imagine God as a harsh judge, someone far away, someone who could punish without loving. This filled his heart with sadness and fear. One day, praying with sincerity, Francis said, God, even if I were condemned, I still want to love you for as long as I live. He entered a church and prayed before the Virgin Mary, and something beautiful happened. He felt deep peace. His fear disappeared. He discovered that God is a father, not a punisher. From that moment on, Francis decided to dedicate his life to healing the fear of others. Francis became a priest and later a bishop, but he was never distant or severe. He taught that God does not push, he attracts. God does not shout, he speaks gently. God does not crush, he lifts us up. Francis taught that God understands our weakness and loves us while we grow. In some towns, people did not want to listen to him, so Francis had a brilliant idea. He wrote short messages about God and slipped them under people's doors. In this way, God's love reached hearts quietly. That is why today, he is the patron saint of communicators. Saint Francis de Sales wrote an important book called The Introduction to the Devout Life. In it, he taught that everyone can love God, not only priests or religious sisters. God is loved in small, daily actions. When you fall, you can always begin again. Because of these wise teachings, the Church named him a doctor of the Church. For Saint Francis de Sales, the Eucharist was God's greatest gift. Christ stays with us out of love. Jesus does not leave us alone. He stays to be close to us. Christ becomes small so he doesn't frighten us. Francis taught that God is so great that he could scare us, but he chooses to become small like bread so he can be close to our hearts. Christ gives himself to unite us with him. When we receive communion, Jesus wants to live inside our hearts like a very close friend. Saint Francis de Sales said, "You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar." This means love teaches better than shouting. Kindness works better than anger. Today, children can live this by being kind, speaking gently, forgiving, helping others with love. Saint Francis de Sales teaches us, do not live in fear. Trust God, always choose love. His feast day is celebrated on January 24th. Subscribe to Superhero Histories of Faith, like this video, and find our books on Amazon.